Hi everybody, welcome back. Okay, I'm going to come up with what we shall call a conspiracy theory today, but a darn good one at best. We are forever speculating about who is behind Harry and Meghan, financially, emotionally, and otherwise. We've heard of David and Catherine Foster. It appears that they are still mates, or at least tolerant of Harry, but there appears to be distance between them and Meghan. Catherine Foster does not appear to go out of her way to invite Meghan to her child's birthday parties or any of their other events. We heard of Elton John, who we also heard was very supportive at one stage, but then appears to have pulled back. However, it appears that he is back supporting Harry, or maybe it is just for the court case, because he did not invite Harry on board his private jet to fly to London to attend the court proceedings. Then there is Oprah. Some are saying Oprah had enough of them. Some are saying it is just a ruse. She is still there in the background. Then there's Ellen DeGeneres. Not much Ellen can do for them. Then there is Tyler Perry. Tyler, from what I hear, is a very good and forgiving person. So although he had a few run-ins with the Harkles, he keeps forgiving and going back to support them, it appears. There was also talk of Mohammed Al Fayed backing them financially, but I'm not sure I believe that. Actually, his health had been failing for some time, and he is indeed 94 years old. Anyway, we know many other rich and famous who were originally interested have indeed moved along, like Amal and George Clooney, for instance. But what about the people we don't know, or at least we don't know about, or may even be thinking about? One name which popped up recently in relation to Harry and Meghan is one I have not thought about in a very, very long time, and definitely not at all in terms of Harry and Meghan, and that is none other than ex-tennis player Boris Becker. And the links may or may not surprise you, so let's go. I'm guessing you all know by now who Misan Harriman is. For those who don't know who he is Meghan's favorite photographer and Photoshop expert. It was Misan Harriman who took the photographs for the pregnancy announcement. It was Misan who allegedly took the photographs of Lily on her first birthday. Okay, now, Misan Harriman is the son of Chief Hope Harriman, one of the founding fathers of modern Nigeria. Now, I did not even know that Misan had a business partner, but yes, he does. And that business partner is none other than, ta-da, Boris Becker. They are so close that Boris calls himself the other woman in Misan's marriage. But here is a side note. There is another Nigerian linked to Misan Harriman, Boris Becker, and Prince Harry, and he is Kola Karim, the boss of Shoreline Energy, who played polo with both William and Harry, and particularly at Andrew Lloyd Webber's private estate. Now, before I go down this rabbit hole any further, please be reminded that Princess Eugenie is also friendly with Misan Harriman and Marcus Anderson. Yes, this is going to get a little complicated, so I may at a later stage draw a diagram. But for now, let's just move on. Boris Becker has also been a frequent visitor to Soho House, London. But again, before we proceed, I would like to remind you of a visit Meghan made to Britain in 2013. Remember the charity gala where Meghan was roped in or given a small role to play as a co-host? Remember, there were photographs of her and Oliver Cheshire, as they walked the red carpet together and posed for photographs together. But forget about Oliver. That was just for photographs, and he was one of the co-hosts. What is important to this video is that the previous day, Meghan attended a pre-awards dinner hosted by mobile tycoon John Caldwell. It's also the same dinner where Lizzie Gundy was actually told to keep Meghan company. And guess who was also a guest at the dinner? None other than Boris Becker. But I'll come back to the whole social scene and how Meghan was backed, etc., etc., and particularly how she worked her way towards inching closer to the royal family. And I guess the only one who was actually available was the little shit, namely Harry. But let's move on. So, I got some rather, I don't really know what to call it, but let's just say sticky, strange, maybe even nefarious information. Namely, that we can stop looking who is behind Harry and Meghan. Firstly, because it is likely not just one person, and whoever they are, let's call them the Weinsteins and Epsteins of Soho House, they are using, manipulating, paying, doing whatever needs to be done via or through Soho House or at Soho House. Almost like Soho House is the operational headquarters, so to speak. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure how things are done, but suffice it to say, all roads lead to and through Soho House. Now, I'm told by a source, anonymous source, that Boris Becker was the person who got Meghan inside Soho House, Toronto. Boris was also a client of Sunshine Sachs and paid Meghan's fee at Sunshine Sachs. Now, I don't know from when or for how long he did that. And remember, I prefer to pretend not to be too nosy, as past experience told me that is exactly the point at which these people shut the door in my face. Anyway, I'm going to assume that it was while she was still in suit, and that it was done to raise Meghan's profile in order to get her on the road to where they wanted her to go. However, please do not think Meghan was manipulated. No, no, no. According to my information, she was more than a willing participant. The only difference was that the motivation of Meghan Markle and her backer friends differed. She wanted global recognition and money, and they wanted something else. And I am not sure exactly what they wanted. The destruction of the monarchy, or is there something else? I truly do not know. Anyway, Boris Becker and Prince Charles are also not strangers to one another. Among other things, Boris Becker is or was a supporter of Prince Charles's British Asian Trust. And although I can't say whether they met before or how many times, I have found articles of Boris attending a British Asian Trust reception at the Victoria and Albert Museum and shaking hands with the then Prince Charles in February 2014. Strangely, since Boris Becker was released from prison in December after serving 7 months of his sentence in a British prison after he was convicted for bankruptcy fraud, he seems to have had a slight change of heart. Not long after he was released, he was deported back to Germany and he now lives in Munich. But during an interview in which he spoke about being incarcerated, he offered some advice for Harry, saying, "Don't forget where you come from, because you may have to go back there, and marriages don't last forever, last time I checked." Now, my dear friends, this is all too strange, and I'm certainly going to follow up and dig deeper on this, but suffice it to say, Boris Becker and Meghan Markle have crossed paths more than once during the period of roughly 2011 to 2015. More or less, remember, this is an ongoing investigation. Anyway, and they also have a continued good friend in Misan Harriman in common. I have to tell you that this is not where the story ends, but I think it is enough for one day. We'll continue this in a second video. Okay, my dear friends, so until I meet you on the next one, please take good care of yourself. Bye.